So what if there was a disease that killed more than 150,000 people per day and was the second leading cause of cancer death in the United States? But you could find a way to prevent this. Yes, in this video today, I'm going to go over 4 ways you can prevent colon cancer in someone you love, in a friend, in a family member, and maybe in yourself. Guys, let's talk about it. Howdy y'all, Dr. Samir here, aka your poop guru! Yes, trying to give you the best tips and tricks to help out with your health. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. You know you want to. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to a weekly newsletter where you can get great tips and tricks like you're learning in this video. So colon cancer, unfortunately, is a second leading cause of cancer death in the United States. But it is completely preventable. It is so frustrating for me whenever I diagnose somebody with a very large colon cancer, because I know for a fact that cancer could have been prevented if they got their colon cancer screening done earlier than when they got it done. There's not a worse conversation I can have with somebody except for when I tell them they have a cancer that was completely preventable. Let's talk about 4 ways we can prevent colon cancer together to eradicate this scourge upon us. Number 1, we have to demystify the process and the concerns about colon cancer and colon cancer screening. I know there are a ton of myths that are out there, things that you may have heard about, things I hear about from my patients regarding colonoscopy, colon cancer screening, and everything else like that. Let's go into that right now. Myth number 1, it only happens to men. Listen, I know that us as men, we suck, we're dirty, we're not the coolest sex that's out there. I'll tell you, my wife will agree with that, but colon cancer happens to both men and women. Cancer does not discriminate on sex. It does discriminate based on age. And so whether you are a man or a woman, if you are of age, you need to get your colonoscopy done. Don't just assume that just because you're a female, you're not at higher risk. I am sorry. Cancer is an equal opportunity offender. It can affect me and it can affect you just as equally as anybody else. Myth number 2, I'm too young to have colon cancer. No. I have a couple of videos on here about why younger people are developing colon cancer, but we are seeing more and more younger individuals developing colon cancer. We don't know exactly why. People in their 20s, in their early 30s, people who have never had colon issues in the past are now developing colon cancer. It may be a combination of genes, genetic, or food. Who knows what is going on? But what I do know is that you are never too young to get a colonoscopy. If you're having symptoms, if you're having bleeding, diarrhea, abdominal pain, constipation, something doesn't feel right, don't just blow it off and assume it's nothing, because that makes an ass out of you and me. And I'll tell you, I don't want to be an ass, and I don't want you to be an ass. So even if you're young, you're like a 20-year-old having diarrhea or bleeding, don't ignore that. Get your colonoscopy, because if we can find a precancerous polyp, we can remove it and decrease or eliminate your risk of developing colon cancer. I had just the same scenario today in my office. I did a colonoscopy on a young 27-year-old female who had rectal bleeding, had a big, large colon polyp that was a precancerous polyp. We removed that, and I told her if you would have waited a couple more years, you would have had colon cancer. Just imagine that, being in your early 30s, being diagnosed with colon cancer, your whole life just closes down on you because of that diagnosis. Well, we were able to find that precancerous polyp and remove it to eliminate her risk for developing colon cancer. Myth number 3, colonoscopies are painful. Okay, they are very painful. It's terrible. You feel something in your bottom. Your butthole feels weird afterwards. No, not at all. Colonoscopies are not a painful process, I can tell you. We use very effective medications to put you to sleep quickly. Boom, and you just wake up just like that. You don't feel the scope. You don't feel anything going around there. Your bottom doesn't feel raw. Your bottom doesn't feel different. It is not a painful procedure. In fact, it will be the best nap you've ever had in your life. I won't guarantee that, but I can almost guarantee that. And myth number 4, colonoscopies are dangerous. Now look, every single procedure out there carries risk. There's even a risk when I go outside. There may be even a risk with me filming this YouTube video. I hope not, that'd be kind of weird. But there are risks with everything. Now, there are risks with a colonoscopy. Risk of causing a tear in the colon, risk of missing lesions, and risk of other things that could be going on. Now, those risks are very, very small, typically less than 1 to 2%. Especially in somebody who's been experienced doing this for quite some time, the risk is very small. But you know what is a high risk? Colon cancer! Yes, it is! So the benefits about doing a colonoscopy far, far, far outweighs the potential risk of the colonoscopy itself. And so my recommendation, if you are scared about the risk of the colonoscopy, speak to your doctor, have an educated conversation with them so they can understand those risks and maybe address them so you don't have to worry about the procedure. If you're getting great value from this video, I really, really, really would appreciate it if you smash that like button and commented down below. The second way I want you to raise awareness is to know when to get your colonoscopy done. So for everybody out there, you should not wait any later than 45 years old. The colon cancer screening guidelines changed recently. It used to be 50, now it's 45 because of the increase in the rise of young individuals developing colon cancer. However, if you have a family history of colon cancer, if you have a condition like Crohn's colitis or ulcerative colitis, or if you're having symptoms, bleeding, diarrhea, constipation, or pain, you need to get your colonoscopy done sooner. In fact, I will tell you, you can never be too young to get a colonoscopy. I've had mine and I'm not even 45 yet. And if you're watching this and you've not had yours yet, I would strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to get that screening test done to find out what's going on and potentially save your life. The third way to raise awareness is to prioritize prevention. Now, one way to prevent colon cancer, obviously, is to get your colonoscopy. But diet plays a significant role in what is going on in our gut health. And this may be a contributing factor for why we're seeing a rise of young people having colon cancer. And so here's what you need to do. Number 1, stress whole grains. Eliminate processed foods, eliminate grains that are not good for you. Really embrace whole grains. Number 2, have a diet that's high in vegetables and high in fiber. What does that contain? Our favorite word, fiber! Yes, fiber! Fiber is the backbone for gut health. And the more fiber that you have, the less inflammation you'll have, the happier your good bacteria will be, and the best way we can squish all that bad bacteria as well. And the best way to have fiber is to eat a diet that has a lot of variety of vegetables and fruits. This is the best way. It is a superpower you can give your own microbiome to make them happy and to make them healthy. Then lastly, minimize or completely eliminate red meat. Red meat does the exact opposite of what we want in our gut microbiome. It increases the amount of inflammation. It increases the bad bacteria. It suppresses the good guys, and it can increase your risk of developing colon cancer. And the fourth and final way I want you to raise awareness is to tell everyone to get their colonoscopy. Just be aware, talk to your friends about it. I know it's not the topic of conversation that people have at the dinner table, but I will tell you, a lot of people talk about their stool, their poop, and maybe even their colon as well. So bring it up. Make sure your friends are aware. Make sure your family is aware. Make sure people who you love are aware. Make sure you are aware as well, because you could be the person that can save someone's life. The most common reason I see people getting a colonoscopy is not because they're having symptoms themselves, but someone they love, someone they trust is telling them, hey, you need to get that checked out. And they typically are doing the right thing because we usually find a reason and we can remove that precancerous polyp, get them feeling better, and together save a life. So these are 4 tips I recommend to help prevent colon cancer and to eliminate this scourge that we have upon us. My question today for you guys, what would you add to this list? What would you subtract? What other tips do you have for my audience? Comment down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button. Yes, like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to a weekly newsletter where you can get great tips and tricks like you're learning in this video. Guys, I hope you have a happy and healthy day. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, let's talk about poop. Hey, if you want to know what you can do to prevent colon cancer, click right over here.